My name is Candace Klein. I'm Chief Strategy Officer at Dealstruck, and I am a serial entrepreneur who is obsessed with small business. I started as a securities attorney and represented peer-to-peer lending companies, represented banks, and represented startups. Very quickly I learned that the banks and the startups didn't talk to each other, and so in 2010 I thought, well, if the banks aren't going to do it, I'll just have to create a bank. Can't be that tough. So I started my first company in 2010, which is called Bad Girl Ventures. Bad Girl Ventures is a microfinance company that invests education, training, and financial resources in women-owned businesses. And that company has now got offices in several cities. My first intern is now the CEO. And I joined the board of Bad Girl Ventures to start my second company in 2011, which was called Somo Lend. Somo Lend was the first commercial peer-to-peer lending company in the United States. And was facilitating loans between small business owners needing capital, friends, family, customers, and neighbors who wanted to invest, and then banks who were willing to use that friends and family capital as leverage. I started that company, and as a result realized that the law would not allow me to do what I wanted to do with my business. So I raised $2.2 million from investors, telling them, you're investing in me, betting on my ability to go change the federal law to make this company legal. And so that's what I did. I went to Washington, D.C. I worked for about 6 months in drafting a piece of legislation that eventually became the Jobs Act, and then chaired the industry for the year after the Jobs Act was passed into law. That second company did fail due to state regulations, but my investors all are still adamantly supportive that we created an entirely new industry. And so I said to myself, in my next chapter in life, where do I want to be? What do I want to be doing? I wanted to be in San Diego, and I wanted to be helping small business. There was a startup company here called Dealstruck, and Dealstruck is a business that provides financing in the form of debt and loans to small business owners and needed help in opening their peer-to-peer lending operation. And so I joined as an owner and chief strategy officer here at Dealstruck about 9 months ago. We believe strongly that small business owners need more access to capital. Not that they can't find capital, but they can't find it at the right price. So quite often with small business owners, you have two options. You either have great credit and you've been around for years and you can go get a bank loan, or you're stuck with payday lending options, daily debits, merchant cash advance, that you're paying 80 to 150% APR. There's nothing in between. So what Dealstruck decided to do was open up that middle market, the near bankable all the way down to the crowd. And we said, you know what, the crowd, peer lenders, have an appetite for a lower interest rate than hedge funds and private equity firms. And so we can now offer lines of credit and loans to small business owners who otherwise wouldn't be eligible, would be stuck in those high cost options. But now we're able to offer them at competitive interest rates. We're already now lending more than $3 million a month. Our goal is to be lending $5 million a month by the end of this year. And our big, hairy, audacious goal is to change the face of banking, to allow for every small business owner to be able to have multiple options and to be able to make educated decisions on how to get the best possible capital for their needs. My advice for women and girls is this. As an entrepreneur, you shouldn't be starting at 25 years old. You should be thinking about this in 3rd grade. And you should be instilling that hunger for entrepreneurialism in your daughters at a much younger age. The second piece of advice that I offer to female entrepreneurs, whether they be young or old, is to know your numbers. I didn't when I started. I was a lawyer, I was not a finance person, and I wanted to change the world and felt very good about what I was doing, but I couldn't communicate that to investors, whether they be debt or equity, and that really harmed me. I think that that is one of the most important skills that we as women can learn, is how to articulate our businesses in the terms of return on investment. I love attending women investing and women events. I think that it's so inspiring to meet not only female entrepreneurs who are so passionate about their ideas and on fire about what they're doing, but in the same room meet these female entrepreneurs who were successful and who are now investing back in, to hear what they look for in a deal, to hear why they invest in what they invest in, to get them to give us, the sneak peek as to their investment decisions. I think what I learned was that in San Diego particularly, we really have a hotbed of activity in the not in the life science spaces, but also in health and fitness. And that there is a real opportunity if you're a health and fitness entrepreneur to raise capital here and be successful. And if you're an investor that knows and is passionate about that space, I learned from this conference today that this is a real opportunity. San Diego is a real opportunity to invest in that industry.